Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Wanda Jean Jones, and I'm really excited to be here to introduce a new set of ministry tools that leverage technology called the Kingdom Growth Toolkit. What could be inside of that toolkit? It is a collection of AI assistants that will help accelerate your growth for your ministry or for the business that you're working towards. It's my mission to empower ministry growth by leveraging cutting edge technology in the church. Now, I understand the challenges that come with sermon preparation, with pastors often dedicating between 15 to 25 hours per week crafting their messages. Research and content creation can be time consuming, and some ministers may feel that relying on an AI tool could compromise their spiritual integrity. However, it is essential to realize that you're already using AI as a part of your daily lives, whether it's using your smartphone or whether it's streaming on Netflix or Hulu. You are using AIs every day. So why not? The AI should not be seen as a replacement for divine inspiration, but as a powerful tool to assist you in enhancing your ministry. So, by using the Sermon Assistant AI that we're going to talk about a little later today, you can streamline your research, you can gather your insights in a faster and more focused way so that you can work more on delivering impact and spiritually led sermons. So, why would you use a Sermon Assistant AI? Well, number one, we just talked about it, that time efficiency mechanism. These AIs can significantly reduce the time that you spend on sermon prep, and that gives you more time to focus on your congregation and other ministry responsibilities. It also provides what could be seen as enhanced research. So the AI provides in-depth analysis of scriptures, including Greek and Hebrew context for Old and New Testaments, and that will really enrich your sermons and help you get some deeper theological insights. You'll also get tailored content. Not everybody is going to be preaching the same sermons all the time. And so, depending on how you interact with the AI, it's going to give you a sermon that it wouldn't have given someone else. This AI will adapt to your specific audience as well and your tone. So, in the sermon series needs, sometimes it's a one time sermon, sometimes it's going to be a series over a period of a month or a quarter, and you'll be able to get those catered to your needs as well. You'll also get consistency. So, if you use this as a part of your weekly toolkit on how you want to prepare your sermons, this is definitely going to help you maintain the theme and the consistency and coherency across all of your messages going forward. It's the same thing that you've always been doing, except you have a different tool today that will help you accelerate that. And really, it's all about innovation at this point. We want to embrace the future of ministry by integrating the technology that complements your spiritual leadership and then enhances your message delivery. So, with that, I'd like to give you a tour of the Sermon Assistant AI. All right, so we're landing right here on the Sermon Assist AI page, and you're going to see this very simple interface. The AI assistant is right here in the middle, and it's just basically giving you a welcome and saying, let's get started. So first, you're going to click that next button, and as soon as you do, you can close this little side. Any sermons that you prepare will be appearing here in this left navigation area. So you can just click this arrow to get a little bit more real estate. Today we have 4 different Bibles that are referenced inside of this model, and you can choose which one that you would like. Also, I'd love to hear your feedback. If there is a version of the Holy Bible that you would want to have in this list, I'm very interested to hear that from you. I'm a King James Version person, even though I'm not a minister, um, and I will share that. So, which testament is the scripture from? So, you can go with an Old Testament scripture, or a New Testament scripture. And so I will go from an Old Testament scripture. And then it says, what is the scripture that you think that you want to talk about or look at or research and have a part of your sermon. So, what I'm going to do is go ahead and put, just the book of Job. I don't necessarily want to add a specific scriptural reference. I'm just going to use the whole book. And then the topic, I think I want it to be, overcoming fear and failure with God. I will tell you, I am not a minister, but this is going to be what I have. And then in this section, who will be the audience for this sermon? This is an interesting section because this sermon assistant has been trained to understand the psychology of how to speak with men and have the message land with men. With women, there are different words that we can say to a male or a female audience that would make this message resonate with them. And then if it's children, we would talk about these things in a very different way than if we were talking to adults. And so there's also the mixed audience component, which is probably going to be what most congregations are made up of, is a mixed audience. But just letting you know that the audience has been programmed inside of the AI. So this sermon will be tailored based upon that. But for now, I'm going to click mixed audience. And then the tone of your sermon. So an inspirational sermon would use different words than one that is a little more persuasive. And then if you're just giving a lot of facts and information, you might want to choose the informational tone. And then some, ministers want to add a little bit of humor inside of the sermon to help lighten the mood and get the message over. But for this, I'm going to go ahead and choose inspirational. Now, here you can choose whether this will be a one-time sermon that you're going to just deliver as a one-off sermon, or if the Lord is leading you to do more of a sermon series where you're going to stay with this topic for a period of time. If you choose the sermon series, you'll get 3 more sermons that match whatever you're trying to do for this particular sermon. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and push one time. And then Jesus, when he taught, he always spake in parables. He wanted to deliver that message over with relatable stories. And so storytelling has been baked into this AI, and you could use any one of these sorts of topics to tell that story. So I'm going to go with human nature for this one. And then I'm going to press continue. It doesn't look like anything at all is happening. But right now, this sermon is being generated, and you can open up your sidebar to see that this has populated, and then now you're going to get your outline of your sermon. So let's see what we get. Number 1, you're going to get an opening prayer. And this is a prayer that you can use for yourself, because what I've heard from different ministers is that when this sermon is created, they're actually getting the message first. So in order to really deliver the message, you got to get it for yourself. And so this opening prayer might be for you. It might be something that you want to take and share on the media screens. You could put this inside of your social media channels or your messaging app, or send it via text message to the congregation leading up to the actual Sunday. So that's up to you and how you want to use it. And then the sermon outline really gives you a theme in this opening here. And it does kind of go into what Job may have been experiencing, because I put in here the book of Job, and you can see where the AI kind of helped move you into that direction. This is a main message that's talking about Job and his journey, and it actually goes from Job 1 all the way through the 42nd verse here. So you can see that the AI is referencing exactly where it's getting these points. So the main message is in 3 points. First, Job facing the imaginable loss, but he was steadfast. And then secondly, through talking with his friends, he needed to continue to trust in God. And then third, he experiences that restoration around Job 42:10. And so this is sort of the theme that matches the actual title that we have, which is Overcoming Fears Through Faith in God. The main message goes into just explaining again about what Job has gone through, and then you can use the story, use the parable. This could be something that you use inside of your sermon, whether you speak it or if you use something similar to it. This story is usually very closely related to whatever you've chosen. And we were coming out of the Old Testament, and so the context analysis is going to give us Hebrew for this passage of scripture, and it kind of gives you all of, the pronunciation, and it shows you the Hebrew wording. And if this were a New Testament, you would have gotten the Greek context. And then from a practical tips perspective on how do you demonstrate this? How do you bring this sermon to life in the congregation? So you're getting some tips on how you can do that if you want to or not. It says utilize effective body language, shift your tone when you want to, evoke emotions through this. So it's actually giving you just some tips. And then the additional topics, even though we're not necessarily looking at a sermon series, here are some additional topics. And then you didn't get a joke or any humor because you didn't choose that. And then afterwards, you get a closing prayer. So after you look at this sermon, just kind of look over it a little bit, you can push the next button and then it will ask you, what do you want to do? Do you want to revise it and export it? Do you want to ask the AI questions about it? Or you just want to end this particular session? So let's go in and see what it looks like to revise. When you revise your sermon, you can take any part of this sermon and you can change it. And so overcoming fear and failure with God, if I highlighted that and let go, you'll see that there is, a change icon here that I could ask the AI a question or revise this text. So I could say, change this to when God steps into your situation. So maybe I want it to be changed to that. All right, so now it's when God steps into your situation. If I want to, come to any of these sections, let's see. This is like the main message itself. Let's see what happens if I highlight the whole thing. Make this more applicable to God transforming Job's situation. And I can press submit. This is actually, it has changed it. So it was very fast, but it has changed it for us. And you could have copied the old and put it over in your document, or not, or just use use this particular context of it as well. So here is the changed sermon. And at this point, you could do other things. Let's say that I wanted to, for some reason, bold this particular part. I might want to make things, I can separate things if I want to. And there's the opening theme, but the message itself, it goes into these 3 points. So I could actually do this and, start putting the numbers, first. Then there's ultimately, and there's 3 things, and now maybe there's 4 things here. So you can change any of these things around. Let me see, unimaginable loss. So expand on this. What loss did Job experience? So then it expands exactly, if I go ahead and click this, it's actually going beyond saying, oh, it's just an unimaginable loss. It's actually putting in what the loss was, and it expands on that. So you could do this for any section here. Hardship, but remained. This is going to be a comma at this point. But remained steadfast. Job was an example to his friends and family. Okay, now I put that in. Job was an example to his friends and family. And then I could also say, how was Job an example to his friends and family? And all of this is going to be related to the topic that you actually put into the sermon assistant. So this research tool is helping you get this information. Imagine that you were trying to set up the background for any one of your sermons to help people get a visual on what was happening in the Bible times, and then how do you bring that into today's vernacular to make it relatable for your audience at some degree. And so those are the types of things that you're going to get with this particular tool. Now it's time for you to export the document. So you'll be able to click this export document tool, and you can export it as HTML, which means that it just opens up into another page like a website. And then the other one is as a PDF. If you're uncomfortable with both of those, you can just select this text or do like a Control A, and it will allow you to select it all and then put it into your whatever document of choice that you have. Let me export. Let's see what it looks like to export that as an HTML document. So my sermon, see if you can see that. So let me go into this, my sermon. And so when you export it, this is just on my C drive. I exported it, it saved it on my desktop, and now I have this sermon, and it is like on a website. So this could actually be something that you also, make notes about, and you put this on your website blog. If you're looking to get a website, I'm the right person to come to, by the way, just a shameless plug. I love helping get churches online, but this is a great way for you to, have consistency in what you're doing and have that consistency across all of your channels. So there is that one, and then you could come back and also download this as a PDF. So again, it's getting saved, and when you download it as this PDF, you'll be able to actually put this maybe on your iPad, or take this with you, print it out, whatever it is that you want to do to deliver your sermon. So as I said, this sermon is here over on the side. You can click this little pencil and rename it, because we did change this, didn't we, to when God steps into your situation. And we want to click that. And so now that is also changed. But this is the Sermon Assist AI. Thank you all so much for looking at this, and let me know how you think about it, and let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see in this product going forward. Thank you.